Natural? 51 years old?
What do you think of Tyson and Jake?
I wish he didn't do it. I wish it wasn't a thing. I wish it wasn't a thing where a 58-year-old guy was going to fight a 28-year-old. That's it. That out the window.
If you're Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
If you're Mike Tyson, you know. I mean, even Paul, bro. Paul is not a small guy.
No.
He's big. Like, a lot of guys think he's tiny. He's a huge boy.
He's a big dude, and he can crack.
Yeah.
And
Joe Rogan just blew the lid off the biggest scam in boxing history, and yes, it's exactly what you're thinking. Jake Paul's fight out against Mike Tyson was faker than a reality TV show audition tape. Turns out, Mike Tyson, the man who used to make opponents cry before the bell even rang, was allegedly threatened into taking a dive. A 58-year-old legend, forced to hold back for some vulnerable reasons, just so Jake Paul, aka the most overhyped YouTuber in history, could strut around like he actually achieved something.
Celebrity, this was not something for some charity. No. We're gonna do this. And Jake Paul, they asked Jake Paul, did he take his foot off the gas? Stephen A, this is what he said. Yeah, definitely a bit. I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
And Joe, he's done being polite. He's calling out the scripted nonsense and the circus act we all unfortunately witnessed. Mike Tyson fans are furious, and rightly so. It's almost poetic, really, how much we all wanted to see Tyson back in the ring. We were all riding high on the excitement of the comeback, thinking, it's Mike Tyson, he's got this. And now we're all here, choking on our humble pie, realizing just how badly we missed the mark.
Just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him box.
Yeah.
The kid can fight, 100%. And that Tommy Fury fight really showed that. I mean, it goes to a split decision against a legit undefeated boxer.
Yeah. He doesn't want to tell you what the one thing he doesn't want to do is fight Mike.
No.
He wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
He was young. He was 20 years old at the time. He couldn't be stopped. No one had the solution. And I submit that Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that won the title against Trevor Berbick, the Mike Tyson that beat Larry Holmes, I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time.
And before I tell you what actually happened, Rogan laid it out plain and simple. If this were prime Tyson, Jake wouldn't last long enough to hear the bell for round 2. You've seen the Marvis Frazier fight, right? That wasn't a fight, it was an execution, Rogan said, shaking his head like he couldn't believe anyone would question it. Tyson at 58 isn't prime Tyson, sure. But Rogan wasn't impressed by Jake's odds. The guy's eating raw meat and sweating through interviews like he's prepping for the apocalypse. He's still terrifying, Rogan said. And Jake's probably sitting somewhere pretending he's not Googling how to back out of a fight gracefully. Rogan doesn't see this going well for Paul. Even with Tyson decades past his prime, Rogan said it's still like pitting a lion against a house cat. Jake might think he's a big deal, but Tyson's smashed men, plural, for fun. Good luck with that.
So we had Mike Tyson in when he was 300 pounds. And he was just eating and having fun and smoking weed. He goes, I don't even work out. He goes, if I work out, it'll excite myself. It'll excite my ego. And then I don't like that person. So he just decided that he was just going to be chill Mike Tyson. And then he got this offer to fight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
So he gets in insane shape. And the next time I see him, the second podcast we do, Mike now weighs 230 pounds.
Mike Tyson, the man, the myth, the table destroyer. Apparently, there's a dark chamber in Tyson's mind, and Joe Rogan's pretty sure it's wide open. Rogan even redesigned his podcast table because 300-pound Tyson, mid-snack and mid-joint, had Rogan rethinking life choices. I don't work out, Tyson had said. Why? Because working out excites his ego, and apparently that's a version of Tyson no one wants to meet. Fast forward to his Roy Jones Jr. fight, and suddenly he's 230 pounds of muscle. And Rogan's contemplating table width for his own safety.
Mike Tyson, people talk to. There's certain people that are just crazy, man.
Well, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even, like, because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. He is 57 years old. He will be 58 when they fight. He has had a long fighting career. He has been knocked out by massive men like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. You know, he's had a lot of blows. And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation.
The fight with Jones wasn't a brawl. It was more like sparring with a side of nostalgia. Rogan's convinced they had a don't punch me in the head gentleman's agreement. Makes sense. Jones isn't exactly Tyson-sized. Tyson, in Rogan's words, is a different mass, a human wrecking ball with a dense, terrifying frame. But hey, this Jake Paul fight? No head-punching stipulations here. It's all systems go, and Tyson's reportedly breathing like he's about to flatten someone's face again.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Oh, the sheer audacity of some people. They genuinely think Jake Paul could stand a chance against Mike Tyson. Really? Let's dive into this absurdity and set the record straight. First off, yes, Tyson is 57 years old, soon to be 58. But age alone doesn't mean he's down for the count. Sure, his fighting days are long behind him, and he's taken his share of heavy hits from titans like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. But comparing that to some internet-famous boxer's skill set? Laughable.
There's not a chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive against the Mike Tyson that beat Marvis Frazier. You ever watch that fight?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mike Tyson fight, because that was Mike Tyson before he won the title. It was ABC Wide World.
Let's put this into perspective. George Foreman, at 45, reclaimed the heavyweight title by knocking out Michael Moorer with a punch so perfectly timed it's still studied today. And Foreman? He kept fighting until he was 48, giving Shannon the Cannon Briggs a run for his money.
Placement and human growth hormone and peptides.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Mike Tyson, he's 57, but he got access to
everything.
everything.
And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation that I've talked to some people that do that. And it has massive benefits of rehabilitating injuries.
Now that was back in the day when old fighters didn't have access to modern biohacking miracles. Tyson? Oh, he's got access to everything. Testosterone replacement therapy, human growth hormone, peptides, you name it, he's probably got it in his arsenal. This isn't your average 57-year-old who struggles to climb stairs. This is a scientifically optimized machine who's out to prove he's still got it. And then there's the electric stimulation training Tyson's been doing. This isn't some gimmick, it's a cutting-edge neuromuscular electrical stimulation device that sends impulses through the body, making muscles contract while you work out. Imagine doing squats or deadlifts while hooked up to a machine that's jolting your muscles into overdrive. The benefits? Faster recovery, increased blood flow, and even rehab for old injuries. Tyson used this tech before his fight with Roy Jones Jr., and he's reportedly incorporating it into his current training.
And Tyson smashing the mitts. Like, Jesus. That guy can still fuck you up.
He don't want to fight Mike.
In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins and he does all this electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff. Like when they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, they were using state-of-the-art science.
Oh, here we go, the Logan Paul Appreciation Society. Yes, Logan Paul, the YouTube sensation turned wrestling daredevil, is apparently really good at hurling himself off ropes like he's auditioning for a Fast and Furious stunt. Wild stuff, folks. And Jake Paul? Well, we're supposed to forget he's a YouTube guy and just marvel at his boxing. Sure, let's overlook the split decision loss to Tommy Fury, an undefeated boxer. Impressive? Maybe. Groundbreaking? Not really.
Mike Tyson just fucking bobbing and weaving. He's going to have a recognition. Yeah. He's going to look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Dude, I'm talking, it's still at 55. And at 55, the power is the last thing to go. But the thing is, the speed is still there.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrifying.
Now let's move on to the Mike Tyson Fantasy League. Jake Paul, staring across the ring at Tyson, realizing it's Mike freaking Tyson, because nothing screams brilliant idea like putting a 20-something influencer in the same ring with a man who could still shatter a ribcage at 55. Tyson, with his state-of-the-art science, hormone therapies, and enough electrical muscle stimulation to power a small city, is terrifying. But hey, why not? Everyone loves a good mismatch. Then there's Roy Jones Jr., who fought Mike with what looked like a "please don't hit me in the face" clause. Smart, honestly. And yet Roy somehow found time to box Anthony Pettis at 54 years old. Because who doesn't want to see an aging legend test his limits against someone who hasn't been through a million wars? Shocking split decision loss aside, Roy apparently still loves the grind. Nostalgia meets questionable decision-making.
Mike Tyson. And then he got this offer to fight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
So he gets in insane shape. And the next time I see him, the second podcast we do, Mike now weighs 230 pounds.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when recalling his second encounter with Mike Tyson. And somewhere in the middle of the chaos, Jake Paul's name came crashing into the mix. It was a stark contrast to their first meeting when Tyson was all about staying chill and avoiding anything that might rile up his inner beast. But once he got the call to fight Roy Jones Jr., the transformation was biblical. Suddenly, Tyson was back in fight mode, terrifying everyone in the room, including Rogan himself. Even the table width was carefully calculated to ensure a safe buffer zone from the legend.
Kevin Hart said it best. He goes, it's like being in a room with a lion. Like, even if the lion is like...
Jamie Foxx's old joke is like someone let a pit bull let loose in the room, they don't know whose it is.
And Jamie's got to play him in a movie, which has got to be terrifying. Like, don't piss that.
But here's where it gets wild. After Tyson's match with Jones, Rogan couldn't help but compare the spectacle to the rise of you-know-who, Jake Paul. Jake Paul is out here calling himself a boxer, Rogan said, practically rolling his eyes through the screen. Can you imagine Jake stepping into the ring with someone like Tyson? Forget the table, you'd need a moat. And let's not forget Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx's warnings about being in the same room as Tyson. Jamie Foxx famously joked it's like someone letting a bull loose and not telling you who it is. Rogan couldn't agree more. You don't poke the bear, or the lion, or whatever apex predator Tyson happens to embody that day. But then, Rogan dropped the hammer. Jake Paul is no Tyson, not even close. He admitted the kids got hustle, but stepping into the ring with someone like Tyson, legend or not, would be a one-way ticket to the ER. I hope Jake's ego can take a punch because his face definitely can't take Tyson's.
That Mike Tyson from Marvis Frazier fought Jake Paul. Jake Paul's dead. He's dead. He's not.
Is Jake Paul a legitimate boxer? Oh, absolutely. If your definition of legitimate involves knocking out retirees and dabbling with actual athletes who moonlight as fighters. Sure, if we completely ignore the YouTube origins, strip away the influencer gloss and just watch him fight, he looks competent. Not flailing, not cartoonishly bad, just a guy who knows how to throw punches without falling over. And if he weren't Jake Paul, the YouTuber, maybe we'd all be crowning him the future of boxing. Or not. Now let's talk about this Tyson thing. Jake's apparently willing to step into the ring with Mike Tyson. Yes, Mike Tyson, who, even at 57, has the kind of aura that could probably scare Jake into shadowboxing himself. Bold, right? Except there's a tiny gamble here. Tyson might not completely be the human demolition machine that once obliterated Marvis Frazier in 30 seconds. Let's be real. Marvis didn't lose a boxing match that night. He attended his own career's funeral.